to me, what's fascinating about this moment is, my work has tended to be kind of on the fringes of innovation, uncertainty, let's create something out of nothing. That's tended to be where I've been. And the bulk of people have tended to be more in what I'll call the core area, where you can have predictable patterns and you sort of know what's going to happen. And next year is going to be a lot like this year. And, that's kind of where most people have been. And all of a sudden, the world that we thought was so stable and certain is being pushed into this high uncertainty mode. And most people have never had an experience of that. So you talk about learning rapidly. And I think one of my observations would be, when you're in a situation with this level of unprecedented uncertainty, the best thing you can do is learn, and learn as fast as you can, but in small chunks. So maybe you could comment on that.
Totally agree. And again, I commend people to look at your work around from the very beginning, when you did the work on entrepreneurial mindset and market busters and discovery through growth. And I'm trying to get all of your works in here at once.
Very gracious.
But I think one of the mindsets that Carol Dweck and others have done brilliantly is learning. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to push the assumption a bit, because learning says what worked, what didn't, and this kind of not a formal after action review that was institutionalized through the U.S. military, but how do I constantly be in a what's working, what's not working? Mm-hmm. The only thing I'd like to challenge a little bit, and you've done this brilliantly in your work, the work on resilience and growth mindset and grit and learning usually looks backwards. Mm. What happened? Mm. I hope we also look forward and we say, what do I anticipate happening out in that unknown future? And instead of overcoming what's wrong, begin to create what's right. And so what I'm finding with some folks right now is, when they can celebrate success and success on a pathway to a future, it gives them a sense of hope. Again, I agree with overcoming resistance, overcoming problems. I face that every day. What worked, what didn't. Mm-hmm. What I really love is to look to the future and say, where do I want to go? A quick example. I was working a couple of weeks ago, one of my last in-person meetings, with a group of very, very good business leaders, and asked them a question. In this crisis, what do you want to be known for by those who respond to you? Big company, 40,000 people. Mm-hmm. They listed some things, and I said, go for that. Mm-hmm. And it was around care, it was around concern, it was around compassion, it was around competence. Go for that. Mm-hmm. Lead to the future, not the past. Don't overcome, let the bureaucracy go and anticipate where you're going. And then start to celebrate success. Quick example. They each went around, there were, I think, 12 or 13 of them, and said, who's a hero in your unit, in the supply unit, in the manufacturing? Go back and name that person and why shortly. Go back now to your unit and say to that person, Sally, Ramondo, your name was just shared in front of the executive team. You're a hero, thank you. That for me is celebrating what's right, not overcoming the resistance of what's wrong. We have to do both.